She heard you before I heard you. This is so fucking loud. I can't hear anything.
Hi!
Hi! It's so fucking loud. Look! Yeah! I'm playing South Park. Look at this. This is like so fucking funny. Yeah, I mean... Look, watch.
I got Creed.
Cred. Remember from the show? Cred is like the black marijuana shop. It's Token's parents own a marijuana farm across from Randy's. And they start making more money than him. And it's called Credigree. So they're like, yeah, you want some cred? Means like weed.
Wow, he looks like he lives in Minnesota.
I do love the haircut and beard I gave him. Isn't that amazing?
It's nice, the backwards hat and the goatee.
Yeah, the goatees.
I could imagine a 30-year-old man wearing this outfit.
Exactly. I think I did it spot on.
Look at her. She's so cuddly. Oh, that's just better.
Oh! Oh! Did you see that?
What? Have you seen Gangnam Style for like a split second?
So they do different ones for each one you do? Oh no, it just goes in between the two. No, it is just... I have no idea. Hi.
I hurt.
From your appointment?
That's the whole side of my head. I got 5 stitches.
5?
And it's just like... It hurts up here and here.
Oh my god.
Because they had to go.
All your gums are like ripped into and whatnot?
No. Well, I mean, it's all surgical. It's essentially surgery. I know, but still. But they took this like... And the best way to describe it was like a butter knife that was thicker. And they just go up against my tooth and they went... Until it snapped off. Oh. And then they went up into the root and they went... And they like leveraged my jaw against it until it snapped off. Fuck. Yeah. And that's how that's... Because usually what they'll do is they'll just pull it. But because it was broken, that's what they had to do. And I was just like, that... I was fully numbed. Like, I could not feel... It was numb up to here. It still kind of is, but it was like... I couldn't blink. I had to, like, manually shut my eye.
Yeah, okay.
And I still felt that. Like, I wasn't even numb.
Whoa.
So that's how bad it was. Like, imagine if I
wow,
wasn't
you really
numb.
have a huge, like, what is that? Like, opioid...
Yeah, like pain. Or, like,
tolerance?
Once they removed the tooth, the pain, like, the numbing went away like that. Like, it was, and I had to ask them to do it again. And then I got, like, kind of sick when I was walking around at Meyer, because I realized, I think I have too much anesthetic in my system.
Probably.
I was like...
Oh,
I did that, like, 2 times. And so then...
Why were you at Meyer?
I got a bunch of soups and jello and tiki
masala. Oh, smart. Okay.
But I'm just like... I want to wait until I'm in unbearable pain before I use the meds.
Ooh.
I was like...
Why? You just don't want to take pain meds? You don't want to waste the pain meds?
And I want to, like, take them later.
I see.
Time, so
okay.
It's just, like... The best way I could describe it is, it's, like, this whole...
Well, I'm pretty sure you are supposed to take them normally, though. So that you're numb.
Yeah, I mean, I will take them now, but...
Do you hate the lights, by the way? This entire time, my room lights have been going through every setting they have, which is slow fade, build up to extremely fast flash.
I haven't noticed at all.
I did on accident because I plugged it in and it started doing this.
Okay.
I don't know how to change it.
Let's unplug it.
Well, I don't want to just unplug it because I want it in. I want the lights on.
Yeah, but I'm just going to see if I can reset it.
Okay. That's the wrong one. Oh, now it's even faster.
I showed up at 2 p.m. There has to be something to change it, right?
Yeah. Has to be. Something on it.
So, I mean, I'll be honest. I'll clean up my own mess down there, but I probably won't do much. I think I'm just going to go lay down on the couch.
That's fine. You take it easy, you know. After this, I'll probably clean some
Guys,
stuff up.
this is all a ruse. After he turns off the recording, he beats me viciously.
I forgot I was recording all of this still.
I also... Let me see. I don't think I saved it. I wish I did, but let me see. I took a picture on Snapchat.
Kind whack. You didn't say kind of. It's my Uber driver, kind whack. Oh, I love you.
What are you doing?
So it's like aftercare.
Why is everything weird this fucking section?
That's hold on a minute. How is being care after something inconspicuous?
Aftercare is intentionally associated with BDSM.
Oh yeah, look it up. Google it.
To dote is to...
I wish I could take all of the mouth pain inside your mouth and give it to all the starving children in Africa.
Fuck. Anyway, I got there at 2 p.m. That's when they started.
Like 3:48.
3 on the dot is when they numbed me. And then I waited another 45 minutes. And that's why
you got home at a normal time.
I show up like 30 minutes late to my appointments all the time. Because they are never ready for me. Never. They are never ever ready for me.
You know what? I'm kind of pissed off about that too. The first time I ever went to the doctor for my workman's comp thing, they saw me instantly, like right there
at the you in the room and leave you.
Yeah. Well, then they actually saw me though,
okay.
like at a scheduled time, and they're like, "Okay, come next week at this time."
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then the other doctor's like, "Okay, we've scheduled an appointment for this place at this time." You're like, "Okay, cool." Go there, got it directly at that exact scheduled time. Every single time after that, it didn't happen. And I was like, what can I do to like actually get seen at a normal time? I will literally leave my job during working hours so I can get a normal appointment on time.
It's like when I went to my OBGYN and they took me back like in 20 minutes after my appointment, and then they left me in the room for an hour and a half.
Do you think
I literally walked out and went to the front desk and I was like, do you
is
guys
the only
remember
way
back here?
away from that just scheduling like the first appointment in the day, you think?
Likely, yeah. So
and then even that you could tell if like they came in late and you'd be like, all right, I'm not going to this person because they just...
Well, I mean, I've worked at a lot of offices and most of them are pretty good at being on time.
I know, but could you imagine your dentist showing up late?
Dude, my coworker said that she used to work at a place where the appointments would be at 8 and the doctor would come in at like 9. Like, come into the office at 9. And I was like, oh my god, like if I was sitting in the lobby and the doctor I was supposed to see came in, I would
an hour
be
after
like,
your scheduled appointment.
I'm canceling my appointment and I would leave.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's no fucking way that I'm
That's what I'm getting at, right? Like...
Because people, it's so funny, they'll come in and...
Is that how these places end up the way they are?
Well, yeah, usually.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like, that's why they're 2 hours in the...
They'll make an exception for a patient, and then, or like, well, we have patients that are like, they need aid. They need, like, someone who can bathe them and dress them and drive them and walk them, and they don't have it. And so they're like, I need to take my clothes off. And it's like 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And because, like, we can't, legally, we cannot go in there and assist them with taking off their clothes. Yeah. And stuff like that. Or... oh, I'm here for an appointment with my daughter, but also can I be seen for this? And so that's why people are like, the patients that are like, he talks really fast and he doesn't give me a lot of attention. It's like, because you are not the only person
I just
here.
hate it. The last eye doctor appointment I was at, literally they saw me like half an hour after my scheduled appointment. I was like, oh, fine. They were training someone, whatever. They did the normal checks, like read these letters off of a screen 10 feet away. And then they're like, okay, well, the doctor's busy, so we're going to put you in a side waiting room until then. And so they moved me from the normal waiting room to a smaller waiting room. And the smaller waiting room was much nicer and had really nice little paintings and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, I see. This is the one that doesn't get used often. Because normally they just go in, because it's an eye doctor. Like, I go through my appointment, like, anything was, how you feeling last time? I was like, I feel great. Nothing hurts. I have 0 problems. She's like, okay, cool. Looks at my eye, goes, all right, cool. That's it. I don't need to see you again and whatnot. Like, I'm in there, like, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then there's actual patients that take fucking ever.
Literally, that's why I refused. They wanted me to be a technician at that ophthalmology place I used to work at, and I literally said I denied. They're like, it's like a huge pay jump, it's like an increase in pay, and you get certified so you can get a higher pay rate. And I was like, no. And they're like, I just wanted to know, like, why aren't you interested in it? I was like, the nurses don't get lunches. They don't get fucking lunches because these stupid patients are, the best I could say is retarded. Like, and I don't mean that in like a negative, like clinically retarded. It's like, can you read the letter? The letter. Can I what? Can you read the letter? And this is like a 30-year-old person.
Yeah, I can start to understand why these people kind of have like, if you have that type of job,
bro. Like,
well, even the people that take those jobs, you have to be
hateful and evil.
Yeah, like kind of an ego or something like that, because it's literally you're dealing with these mind-numbing situations, but you're also doing it in like, oh, well, I'm doing the right thing because I'm not taking my lunches in order to help these people.
Well, it's not
every single day. It's like I used to be like that. I used to not take lunches ever.
Well,
I chose not to take lunches to work through my lunch instead.
That's the difference in the medical field, though, is that you don't.
I know, but even if I didn't get to choose, I was used to that. When I was a kid, that's how working worked, was that you didn't get lunches, you just worked.
But if like, I think it's as an adult, if you had to work from 7 a.m. to 6 or even 7 p.m., without food that entire time.
No, I mean, I totally understand it. I'm just saying it builds something in those people's mindsets of, oh, I am better than thou, in some small way, of the sense of like, oh, well, I'm going through the pain of not taking a lunch.
Yes, I think there's that. I think it's also the idea that like they are educated in health matters and they're dealing with people who aren't. And they think they are. Like, a lot of these people come in and they're like, I have a melanoma, and it's like a cyst. I'm like, that's not a melanoma. Where did you find this? Or we had this woman call in who was like, what the fuck was it? It was so fucking stupid. We had this prescription that we give to people, and I forget the chemical compound off the top of my head. But she was like, I read an article on CNN that said this was cancerous, and so I don't want my daughter taking this. And I was like, okay, I understand your concern. I'll pass you over to the nurses, but I want to let you know that we would never, ever give anything to any child or adult if it was potentially cancerous whatsoever. So I understand your concern, but I believe that this is not the case. But I'll transfer you back. And then I hear her. She was like, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Which I'm like,
they always disrespect the first girl on the phone.
And
hard.
then they go to the other girl, the nurses, same thing. And she's like, ma'am, even if it, for some reason in your logic was, the dose of it is literally 0.02%. So it is not physically possible to cause any cancer serious. And you could hear her. That was how that she was like, well, CNN said. And that, bro, literally, we get that all the time. All the time. And all we can do is, she's just like, all right, well, it's up to you. And then they come back in 2 weeks later. She calls in and she's like, my daughter isn't seeing any results and I don't see why. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll schedule you. Guess why they're not seeing results? Because they're not using anything. Why the fuck would you think you'd get results, you absolute idiot? It's just like, it's so crazy. Or there's this guy, he would be like, I'm calling in about my biopsy results, and I did my biopsy 4 weeks ago and nobody's called me. And I'm like, have you checked your voicemail? Yes, I've checked my voicemail. Oh, what did your voicemail say? Nothing, no one called me. And I go, is this your phone number? And he goes, yes. I was like, well, I have it logged that we've actually contacted you 4 times, and we've left a voicemail for you 4 times. And he goes, I don't know, I don't care, I don't listen to the voicemails. I'm like, okay, I'm going to transfer to the nurse line. Or my favorite is, somebody called me. Okay, did we leave you a voicemail? No. Okay, well, I'm not too sure what's it about. It's going to take a minute. Oh, well, they said something. Okay, so there was a voicemail because they're describing what someone said to them. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? Just stupid shit like that all the time. That is the big thing. That is my pet peeve, literally, is I don't know who the fuck called you. We have so many patients, and you have the audacity to call in and be like, someone called me. Well, what did they call you about? I don't know. You just called me. We have 9 people in this office. I don't know who the fuck called you, girl.
Like assuming that, you know.
I'm so important.
My
that
dad
you
would
must
always
know
talk like that to people too.
It's a sign of. I'm gonna be real blunt. It's a sign of stupidity because it's based off of like you don't have critical thinking. You don't understand that there's not one person in this office who calls everybody. Number one. Number two, you're insecure and you have a high ego to balance that out. Because your ego is so high that you can't even get past that barrier to critical thinking.
Yeah. I think it's just they're overly confident that they are doing the right thing.
Overly confident from an insecurity. It's an ego thing.
Or they were just taught that's how they were. Like, I feel like my dad was raised in the middle of buttfuck nowhere and was, you know, his dad taught him the most stereotypical old American morals, you know.
Man's ego. A stereotypical man's ego is an insecurity. So it's an ego based off of insecurity.
I don't know. I think that a lot of those people just act that way because they know they can get their way. They're like, that's just the way. Because
they do not have critical thinking. Because if they were to, it's a
well,
whole
maybe because
system.
They haven't actually gone through questioning it in the first place.
Because what happens when you question things? You have doubt.
Well, I'm just saying they could have just not be aware of it. Period. You know.
Awareness is also it all folds in. If you're at that age.
But I'm just getting at you think it's conscious, not subconscious.
No, I think it's conscious and subconscious. I think nowadays there is a level of you are consciously choosing to not be aware, and you are subconsciously not aware that you are choosing that.
I see. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like
the old morals of, oh, well, I don't need to learn that. I'm not a doctor. Oh, I don't need to learn that. I'm no scientist.
Not even getting to that
I'm
level.
not a scientist. I don't need to learn about chemistry.
Not even to that level even. It's more just like, well, I don't know. Why are you asking me? What's wrong?
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
There's a defense.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, I'm
like, why do you have no will to be a better part of community? Is what I think.
Or my favorite is when I pick people up and they go, birthmark, date of birth, 10/06, 1999. I'm calling it, and I go, I need to put you on a hold.
Well, hello, Mr. Robotnik.
Click.
Yeah. You just hang up on them? Click.
We had this dude who, I can't give you his name, but he's so fucking, he's like a sociopathic liar, and he's super insecure. And his whole thing was, there's some insurances that need like referrals for their insurance, right? And like, if you come in without it, you gotta pay a deposit, because if you don't ever bring that shit in, we're never getting paid. And it's on you to do it. So if you want to be seen, you gotta pay us, or you gotta get the referral. Those are your two options. And so he came in, and it was such a build-up to this point, where we were like, you need a referral. You need a referral. You need a referral. You need a referral. And he's like, okay. And he gets to the appointment, and he does not have the referral. And we're like, okay, well, if you still want to be seen, you need to pay the $150. And he like puts up a fuss about it. He's like, I'm going to call my manager, and I'm going to call my office. And he paces around outside. And I'm like, okay, well, your appointment slot is gone in 5 minutes. So do you want to be seen or do you not want to be seen? And he's like, fine, I'll pay it. He pays it, and then I explain to him, I'm like, okay, so what's going to happen is if you get that referral, if we get a copy of it in the system, then we can just refund you the money right back on your card, easy peasy. And he goes, okay. So he goes to check out. He's like, oh, where's my $150? And I go, sir, we need your Blue Canary referral before we give you the $150 back. He goes, oh, I don't just get the refund? I was like, I explained that to you at check-in. He goes, oh, okay. And then he leaves. And then this whole shitstorm begins where he continuously keeps calling in and being like, my doctor's office says that they've sent over the referral, so where's my money? And I'm like, we have no record of this. It's not in the system that, like, we can pull it up. We don't need them to send it to us. We can physically see
Didn't
if they
you,
did
like,
it, and they
did this
didn't.
build up to, like, you're like, give us the phone number to your doctor so we can talk to them?
Yes.
Like,
well, no, he
which
was
makes
like,
sense,
he
right?
gave us, he was like, this is my doctor's phone number. And
Yeah,
we
that's
call,
perfect,
and it's like an empty building. And he gives us an address, and it's an empty building.
Nice.
This is where it gets weird. Then, somebody calls us, and it's a black woman. And she's like, I'm calling regarding so-and-so, and this is about his referral, and we just wanted to call you and let you know that it's done. I'm like, okay, what's the reference code? And she just like gives me a series of numbers, so I put it in the system. I'm like, this isn't pulling anything up. She's like, well, it's pulling up on our end. I'm like, well, it's not pulling up on our end. So let's look it up by his name. And we look it up by his name and his date of birth and his ID for his insurance. And I go, nothing coming up. And she goes, well, it's in our system. And okay, well, you can fax it to us. She goes, well, what's your fax number? I give her a fax number. She's like, okay, well, we'll fax it. I'm like, okay, and what's your name? And she's like, oh, our address is blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, and what's your name? And she goes, and our fax number is blah, blah, blah.
Oh my
and
God.
I go, and can I get your name? And she goes, and this is our phone number.
Ooh.
And then she hangs up on me. And guess what? All of that is attached to a Dr. Desir. So I call this. Number one, the address is not associated to the doctor. It's a fucking empty building. The fax number is for like a person in Livonia. And then the phone number is for Dr. Desir. And I call him and I go, do you guys have a patient under this name? And they go, no. I was like, do you have a patient similar to this? No. Well, I just want to let you know that someone is using your name and pretending that it's Dr. Desir's office. And they go, Dr. Desir? Dr. Desir hasn't practiced here in like 4 years. He's retired. And we go... So then we call that provider and we wait. We wait for this fax to come through. We wait 2 days.
Okay, this is amazing.
And we go back to him and I'm like, because he keeps calling it, where's my money? Where's my money? And finally I called him and I said, until you provide us with a physical copy of this Blue Care Network referral, you will not be getting your deposit back. And you have 120 days, so you have 3 months to take care of this. That is your window of time. Otherwise, you will be going to collections. That's it. That's it. That's the end of the story. And eventually he does it. And he's like, but I remember the first time we called him, he was the guy who was like, I'm not going to stand for this. I'm a business owner, so I understand how this works. And I just don't think this is ethical because I run 2 dealerships and I have a lot of money and people would consider me a millionaire.
Mr. Moneybag.
And I was like, wow, for a millionaire, you sure can't afford 150. And so now I had to call him this because he's fucking in collections.
So like,
I goes. Now he's playing another game. Every time we call him,
so let me bring up a hypothetical here. Do you think that after he sees the dermatologist, he feels all confident and good, for a minute, and then he goes and sees his personal trainer, and his personal trainer gives him all that confidence boost even more to the point
we looked him up. He's a used car salesman. Continue.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like Matilda.
Wow, you're just
Matilda's dad.
Breaking all the HIPAA laws here.
You don't know who the fuck he is.
I know. Some fucking used car.
You looked him up though, because we were like, he owns
like
2
Matilda.
I
love how you.
Because he has a Facebook
like Matilda's
where it's like
dad.
these
Hold
shitty
up.
rundown cars that I'm pretty sure are a scam. But his whole thing was every time we would call him, look at Matilda's dad, like that.
Gosh.
Harry Wormwood, and then look up the video where he dials back the numbers and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And
oh my God, I remember this guy.
He
oh my God.
was like, I don't understand this. And so we break it down for him and we email him a bill. And then he goes, and we call him again. Like, okay, now your account is 60 days overdue. I don't understand this, send me a bill. Okay, your account is now 90 days overdue. I don't understand this. Okay, send me a bill. In the mail. Okay, we'll send it in mail and email. So now I'm like, your balance is 140 days overdue. You have 1 week to pay this. He's like, I don't understand this bill and I need to call my insurance. I was like, well, you have 1 week, so you have plenty of time to call your insurance. And I explained to him over the phone. I said, you owe this because of this, you owe this because of this, and you owe this because of this.
So what's your hypothetical here? He's just a sad used auto salesman?
He is a pathological liar.
Yeah.
Because his Facebook does not look legit. It looks like it's a fake Facebook to make him look like a car salesman.
So he does come in though?
No, he came in that one time. We have not seen him since.
Whoa.
And I think he's a loser who probably has a very sad life.
Wow.
And he probably scammed a lot of offices this way, and he thought he could scam us, and he's really pissed at us. And so he keeps trying to play dumb, and he keeps trying to scam us.
Wow.
And so, I was real blown with him. I'm like,
wow.
You have one... And whenever
I was actually
deal
thinking
with him,
this guy was a millionaire and that he was fucking you guys.
I know, right? I thought he was, like, getting coke every day. But it's so funny because no one else in the office can deal with him except for me. Because they take his shit, and I'm like,
I see.
When he does, I don't understand. Well, let me explain it to you. well, I need to call my insurance. Well, you have 1 week to call your insurance.
Yeah, like just being
well, I
real,
don't think
like,
I can make it that
listen.
time. Well, unfortunately, the balance is 140
Yeah.
days overdue, and if it's not paid in a week, it will go to collections.
Yeah, then you're
That's it.
down
And then,
to
like, I sent him the
collections,
email, and then because I fucking knew what he was going to do, I called him today. I said, did you get that email? Oh, no, I didn't get that email. All right, well, while I'm on the phone, let me send it to you. Oh, I see that email now. All right, well, just in case you can't read it, the balance is on there, and as we mentioned, you have until this day at this time to pay it.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend. Click.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is non-negotiable.
You know what? This reminds me of when Hyundai would call me for collections every month to be like, because I was so paycheck to paycheck at the time that I was like just waiting for their call, then I would pay it. And I always thought like, damn, those people must have the worst fucking job. Oh, yeah. Just you're some South Korean person sitting in an office answering phone calls and trying to get collections from them. Like, yeah, because that's what I have to do. Like the collections calls. And the amount of and the way they answer the phone, they're like, hello, is this Joshua Briggs? You know, and I'm like, yeah, this is Joshua Briggs, and they're like, okay, hello, sir. I am calling you based on your Hyundai Motor account, which has a balance of $564. Would you like to pay that now? And I'll be like, yeah, I'll pay that online, thanks. And I'll just hang up. But like, I called collections on this woman once, and she was like, well, I don't know about that. We'll see about that balance, because he did a biopsy me, and I've had biopsies before, and I just feel like he's completely boshed me, and I feel horrifying and ugly, and I can't go out in public, and I just want something done about this. And I'm like, okay, well, do you want to schedule an appointment? No, I don't want to schedule an appointment. I want something done about this. Yes. Okay, well, how about for an evaluation you send in photos, and once you send in those photos, we can evaluate you and tell you whether or not we need an appointment. She goes, okay, I'll do that, but I just want to let you know that this money's not moving until this is taken care of. I was like, well, when you send in your photos, we'll take care of this. She never sent in her photos, so she goes, fuck you. Wow. Because that's what she was trying to do. Is that she was trying to be get like, out of it. Yeah, some way. She was trying to give me an ultimatum, and I was like, "Well, here's your ultimatum, buddy." It's crazy that what people will do in order of times when they're desperate. She threatened to sue and shit, and I was like, "Yep." Yeah, and okay. I bet she goes home every night and drinks a bottle of whiskey in front of her fireplace. No, she seems like the type of woman who goes like vodka clubbing. No, she's like sitting alone in her house, drinking some like skinny tea. Staring at people, judging them as they drive by. That was the vibe she gave off. Like Arnold Palmer mom in the morning. And no, do you know what skinny tea is? It's a laxative tea. Oh. It's for people with eating disorders. Oh. You want to go play it up? Okay, I'll stop this. But we gotta make your character. True. I do have to finish this at least. Gotta do your shoes. Make red shoes like what you have. Oh, yeah. Can I change my shoes? I don't know if I can. It's a thumb. Oh, these are your emotes, Josh. Show me your emotes. Is that the slow clap? That is that the fucking dance from Garfield? Is that the dance that John does in Garfield? Go back to the... that's just Snoopy. That. If you look up a video of John from Garfield dancing, it is that. Okay. John... Garfield disco dancing. Garfield disco... You just type so slow. Damn. Pissing me off. Come, my dear. Let's cut her up. This one? Exactly. This is such a long bit. Keep going. Everybody out on the floor. 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 Here it comes. Shake your paw. Oh my God. Dang! What the when you're feeling down. Here's something you can do to turn those around. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. There we go. Maybe he does it for talking to the shirt. This is what this made you think of?
Yeah.
Okay.
I should dodge on force too.
I
mean, look at that face.
Oh! A little round of the butt.
This took so much fun to animate.
Oh my gosh. That's only halfway?
Yeah, they kick him out of the
Oh, they do the whole bit. Sheesh, it's the whole dang video.
John a date.
Alright,
No. Next.
you spin around in this one.
No. No.
Actually, I do kind of...
I do. That's kind of the Caesar.
It's box dancing.
Oh, I'm like, is this like Gragas from League of Legends?
You like that one?
No. I prefer the American salute over that one.
Alright.
I do like the
Can I
Snoopy dance,
unequip them?
Yeah, you gotta like hit the what they're on though. The wheel. You have to hit the wheel. And just select a new one. I wish they had the Cabbage Patch.
What the fuck?
What? Is that zombie?
Yes, zombie shuffle dance.
Wait, go to the wheel.
Zombie shuffle spin.
Go to the wheel.
Yeah.
Far left. There you go.
There we go. The emo dance.
No, that's Snoopy. I thought.
No, it's the moving groovy dance. It is Snoopy. It is. It is. Well, it's just the Peanuts gang. Period.
Moving groovy dance. All right, I'm gonna go now. My eyes are on fire.
What about arm swinging dance, Autumn? He's going crazy.
I'm sure I was a cat, so I could jump out the window.
Alright, I got my emotes all up.
Isn't it cute that a cat has little boots? Look at her and her white little boots. Look. She's leaving.
Yeah, it is nice. She's a little tuxedo. Alright, I'm finished. I've finished making my character. I'm done. Autumn, look.
I can hear it. You can see it.
Oh my god. We're Zoom called?
It's knockoff FaceTime.
It feels like they had a COVID game and...
I'm sorry. So, the way that scene was like somebody was recording your character and FaceTiming Carmen.
Yeah, apparently this has gotten some pretty bad reviews.
Come on, Josh. No, you gotta go into the mountains. That's where you came from because you're a wolf child. Go back to your wolf parents.
You know, you're right. How did I... Oh, wait.
Now, okay, so you're a furry then, right?
What, that because we survived through the snow?
No, because you were raised by wolves.
What? Oh. Is that how that works? Like, what if I'm insanely anti-furry? I hate furries.
Yeah, I'm like, Mom, I'm not going to be like you.
Yeah. I got cred.
I'm not using the tail right now.
People with cred don't do that. I don't want to go to furry
Humans hate wolves, and wolves hate humans.
FuzzCon? What's a furry convention? They're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Know that one where the cops shut it down because everybody was doing Nas. What? You can hide in deep snow. You know,
to protect you from enemy projectiles to put out if you've been set on fire. Staying in deep snow too long will chill you. Hey, they can't see me.
Do my ninja tactics.
What's a box for? Nothing.
That's MS Snake reference.
I like,
Snake's in there.
Oh. David? Oh. Oh yeah. Okay. Toilet paper's money.
Yeah. Okay. Are you an Amazon driver? What does the truck say?
Oh yeah, good point. Jim's Drugs
RX. I want drugs. No.
Damn, Jim. He said, "Go find yourself a whip."
Motrin. What? Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, left. Go cut that in real quick.
I will.
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, 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 left, right.
Mr. Frodo, huh?
I gotta cut all this out.
We were talking today at work actually about my coworker's like, have you ever seen a guy who's like uncircumcised? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, doesn't it look like a little pigtail? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that. But all I know is that I always use this joke from American Dad. And they're like, what are you talking about? I was like, you know, I don't like no wormies.
It's so true. I love that one,
This is
yeah.
kind of like intense. But this woman called in. We do baby circumcisions, right?
This music
She's
goes
like,
well with this, by the
do
way.
you do circumcisions? We're like, yeah. She's like, my son has been hiding something from us, and we just found out recently. We went to the ER and they denied us because they don't have a urologist. So we need a circumcision. I'm like, okay, yeah. How old is the child? And they go, oh, he's 16. I go, oh, I don't know if we can do that. Like, what's going on? She's like, well, he's 16 and something happened and he didn't tell us and it's been infected for about 6 months now. Oh. And it's bulbous and it's purple. And the bro,
I gotta cut out so much.
I know. And I'm like, why the fuck are you telling me this? And apparently, actually, it has to be like bumfuck nowhere because they went to the ER and the ER denied him because they don't have a urologist to take care of him.
What the fuck?
And she's like, I
That's
don't know
so fucked
why
up.
he hasn't told me about this. And I'm like,
oh boy.
there's so many. I was like, whoa. And I straight up told her, I was like, you need to find an emergency room that will take you as soon as possible.
Like a hospital.
As soon
Go
as
to
possible.
an actual hospital.
Yes. And because I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, girl. I don't know what to tell you. She was like,
like, I've been prepared for the people that lie to my face and try to steal
I don't know what to do about
money
a
from my
purple
company.
bulbous dick. Or the other day we had this guy calling. He was like, my child's gonna give birth soon. My wife is gonna give birth soon, and I just had a few questions. I'm like, okay, shoot. So he asked the basic ones, like, oh, is it like, what's the fee to use insurance, blah blah blah. And then he's like,
so if I have any of these questions, you'll know them. That's
and he's
great.
like, what type of circumcision do you do there? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, we just use scalpel. He does it by hand. He's like, I mean, like what types? And I was like, I'm pretty sure there's only the one. He's like, I don't know. I've heard there were others. Do you mind asking? And I'm like,
what?
Okay. And then he's like, what do you...
I want mine to have
Hold
sick
on.
bunny ears.
Get ready. What type of circumcision do you prefer? And I was like, I kind of sat there for a minute. I was like, well, I'm a woman, so, I can't personally really answer that question.
Yeah, like,
and he's like, oh yeah, but like, what do most people prefer?
Oh, nice.
And I was like, the one with the scalpel, the normal.
Just the bare basic.
What the fuck? So then I looked up. I'm like, types of circumcisions, and this guy was not native English speaker.
Oh, nice.
There are different types of circumcisions. There are circumcisions in like Dubai and China where for the kids, it's like a cookie cutter. You put a metal device around it and you pierce a shape into it, and it can be a star, a flower, or a heart.
Ooh. And
imagine how that heals.
Yeah. That's...
Bro, I was like, we don't do that here in America. And then these parents come in with this 3-day-old baby, and the baby had a split in their foreskin. And so they're like, can we move forward with circumcision? Like, is it safe? Do I need to apply antibiotic? We're worried for the baby. And so they get them in for a consultation. They're in the lobby, and this old man and woman are leaving from their appointment as they're coming in. And the woman's like, oh, look at this baby, so cute. And then she turns to her husband and goes, oh, they're here for the circumcision because, he's 3 years old. And the old man turns to the dad and goes, circumcision. I never had one of those. I would recommend it. And then the dad kind of locks eyes with me at check-in and is like, okay. And he's like, yep, I would always recommend it. It's just better overall. You know how it is. And the dad's like,
yeah, when you're pissing and all the piss builds up
like,
in your foreskin and it's going all over the place.
They were like kids and mothers.
Smegma I gotta
and
clean
other
out of that
old
bad
people
boy.
and a child,
Oh,
all in
boy.
this waiting room. And he's like, and everyone, the guy locked eyes with me, and I was like, and then I looked over at my coworker, and my coworker was like because she had to stop herself from laughing because everybody in the waiting room kind of went quiet and was like, until they left, and then the conversation slowly came back, but it was so funny because he was just like, yeah, I'd recommend that. I don't have a circumcision, but and I'm like,
oh boy.
I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Don't you like me because I'm supportive of... I'm not one of you, but I am supportive of it?
Like, oh my lord, it was so funny. Just the weird shit you hear at work.
I'm not going to subscribe to your OnlyFans, but I support it.
Or we had this woman the other day. Oh, nice angle. We had this woman the other day. This is totally unrelated, but she comes in and she'll buy like Botox or get like a facial. She uses like 85 different methods of fucking payment. And I'm like, if you cannot afford to put $150 on one card, maybe you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And so I had to take over. And she did cash, she did card, and then she was like, I got everything set up for the final payment. She's like, you know what, I'll just use the card I used previously. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, literally, fuck you. So I told her, I was like, I just want to let you know this is the last time we can do this because this is just too confusing and we can do 2 methods of payment, but any more than 2 is too much. And she's like, well, it's just very difficult for me to pay. I was like, I actually understand, but it's very difficult for us to put it in our system. And she was like giving me shit about it. She was like, you don't understand what my life is like and what my financials are like. And all I could think of was, I'm like, then you don't need Botox.
Yeah, right.
You don't need Botox.
You can't say
you
that
because
this is your
filler
job.
in your cheeks because you can't fucking afford it, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a lot of sad people in the world, man. All right, I've been going for 50 minutes. I need to finish this.
Bye.
Bye, I love you.
I love you too. Fuck you guys who watch this video. Fuck you. Bye.
Well, that was a little uncalled for, if I say so myself. I've got my headphones on, by the way, so now I can't hear shit because this game's loud as hell. Oh, wait, I opened up the settings. Thank God. Oh, I can hear myself think. Oh, fuck. He found his arm.
Sorry, I'll get out of here.
Were you gonna try to scare me by putting Santa's arm over my shoulder? Alright. What does it say? Okay. Spacebar to jump. Nice.
Weapons. Find weapons for sale here.
Tokens of the arm salesman. Okay.